What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Locker Room Debates. I'm Ryan, and I got a few guests here. We got
Spencer Goldberg,
Chris Smokes McCoy,
Matthew Keist.
and we're going to be discussing some sports today. So we had a big week of sports this week. We had Pascal Siakam was traded to the Pacers. Antonio Pierce got the interim tag gone, so now he's officially the head coach of the Raiders. Bill Belichick and Harbaugh, it's Jim, right? Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Both got their second interview with Atlanta. And then Mike McCarthy is back for a fifth year with Dallas. And then for our Cardinals fans, Matt Carpenter is coming back for probably his last year reunion. Then we got Josh Hader on a massive deal with the Astros. And then we're going to recap some football from last weekend. And then we got some big divisional games this weekend. So where do you boys want to start off at?
start at the top and go down.
Yeah, let's start off the top.
All righty. So we got for those of you guys that don't know, we got some basketball in the background. And we actually got the Trailblazers versus the Indiana Pacers today. And Pascal Siakam was traded to the Pacers. And my man right here, Goldy, is actually a big Trailblazers fan. So What do you think of this trade?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think it's a great move all around for the Pacers. They gave up Bruce Brown, who kind of crazy. They signed him on a big deal after just winning the championship last year with the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they sent Bruce Brown and a second and a third round pick up to Toronto for Siakam. We were actually talking about it in our fantasy basketball group chat. If that trade would have gone down in our league, would have gotten vetoed or upheld, and a lot of us said vetoed. We think it's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers, Bruce Brown's a good guy. I mean, you send a second, couple
First round picks.
Three
Yeah.
first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus Christ,
It was 3 firsts and Bruce Brown and somebody else. I think Jordan Nora.
Jordan Nora from Louisville, former Buck.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it because I know Siakam definitely makes the Pacers offense a hell of a lot better than what it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already a high-powered offense that's scoring a lot. Siakam's really going to open up the floor. And I don't see how it's much of a loss for the Pacers. Because, I mean, those 3 first-round picks, I think 2 of them are in 2026, if I remember correctly. It's a much weaker draft class. So,
and we're looking down the line too. Yeah. It's like the Pacers are gonna be a good team winning.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a borderline second-round pick with those first-round picks. So, are you really giving up that much for a potential difference maker like Pascal Siakam? Now, I definitely do think the Pacers need to go after some more defensive help instead of offense because that defense just is not great at all, especially on the perimeter. But overall, I don't think it's a bad deal.
So then where do we think so they got Siakam, Miles Turner, and Tyrese Halliburton, the new big 3 in the East. Where do we think this team's finishing this year? Past few years they've been a first, second round exit. So
yeah. I mean, the East, it's for me right now, I just can't see any other team. I know obviously the Celtics got their home winning streak broken tonight, but that's against the Nuggets, defending champs.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic and Murray were on another level tonight. Out of the East, I just can't see anyone other than the Celtics make it out right now. You know what I mean? Maybe, they make it to the Western Conference Finals and lose to Boston, but still, is Siakam truly going to be that big of a difference defensively to get them past the first or second round?
I mean, I just don't think so. I mean, it makes them maybe a top 5 team in the East, but the East is so loaded. I mean, you still got the Bucks, the Knicks are playing some really good basketball right now. Like you said, the Celtics.
Can't forget about the Heat.
Yeah,
Heat are healthy. Like I said, a healthy Heat team, especially in the playoffs, they like to make some noise. But I just don't see it gets them closer. It gets them more competitive in those series. I just don't think it gets them over the top over those top 3 to 4 teams in the East.
For sure. Keith, what do you think?
It's really just a building piece for the team right there. I think, they're not going to. I think it's going to be the same thing that they've been doing, but it's just a building piece where they need to build off that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may be more active. I mean, who knows?
So what do we think is next for the Raptors? They traded OG Anunoby away a few weeks ago for RJ Barrett.
Yeah. And
now Pascal's gone. They got a lot of picks. So
I mean, they're kind of stuck in no man's land right now. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't think they have really any bright future. I mean, RJ's not a bad player. But, I mean, they have the picks that could build on it. But they're going to be later first-round picks in a much weaker draft class. I just don't see them getting better anytime soon.
Feels like they're just building from the ground up again.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to disagree with you guys. I think getting RJ Barrett, he's truly coming to his own. He's from Canada, from Toronto, back home. He's been balling since he went there. They also got Emmanuel Quickly, another guy who was on the Knicks and truly was not in his own right because he was starting behind Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson's a dog, rightfully so. But now Quickly's getting that time. Masai Ujiri, unbelievable general manager. We got to think here, guys. They had what? DeRozan, Lowry,
Then they had
Kawhi too.
Marc Gasol, Danny Green.
Yeah, I mean, guys, Masai Ujiri, as a general manager, knows how to build a team that can win. It's a matter of it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. So, but with the young pieces like Quickly and Barrett, and even they have Gary Trent Jr. right now. I know they just lost Fred VanVleet, but I'm trying to think who's another guy on the Raptors. He's a guard. Pull it up.
I'm blanking right now.
No. Well, let's get this out because we want to see what the Raptors are going to be like here. What's their starting five depth chart kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like they're not going to win overnight. I don't even think they're in a playoff spot right now.
And so they're probably going to be a bottom 5 team in the league this year. But even for future, I just don't. It's really going to come down to those first round picks about who you get there. It's like they have some pieces there, but they don't have the star power to really compete. Because even though RJ, like I say, he's coming into his own quickly, very good defensive player. Like I said, starting to come into his own as well in Toronto. I just don't know if it's enough to get them moving into a championship contender here in the next 5 years or so.
It's going to be hard because you got teams like Giannis and Dame in Milwaukee. Yeah, plug this in.
He smokes.
Where is it? Somewhere over there?
Continue, Goldy.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Bucks with Dame and Giannis, and even Middleton, who can ball on occasions. You got the Celtics with Tatum, Brown, Porzingis went off tonight. Even the Cavs. You got guys like Donovan Mitchell, who's been going crazy. Pair him, healthy Darius Garland, even Jared Allen. You know what I mean? Like there are tons of teams in the East, which. It's going to take some time, but I'm confident with their general manager, Masai Ujiri. He'll get them in the right direction. It's just going to take some time.
He's a fantastic general manager.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you had to trust some guy to get your team going again, it would be him.
Alrighty, so let's see. So I know also we got another big hot trade target is possibly Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Do we think he's gone, or where do you think? What are our thoughts on where he's going?
I mean, we got a good buddy, Esco, who's a massive Bulls fan, and he's been saying all this stuff. He wants LaVine gone. He even wants Vooch gone. And I'm like, bro, you might be smoking crack right now talking about this stuff. He's not gone. But here's the thing: LaVine is going to if I could choose. The best place for him, he played at UCLA, went to school there. I think he's Lakers bound, truth be told. The Lakers have assets for him. I'm pretty sure they can give up, probably AR-15, Austin Reeves.
Or I've heard D'Angelo.
Yeah, even D'Angelo, possibly even a pair, both of them, with a draft pick to Chicago to get LaVine out, to LA. And I think I don't know if that would necessarily put them above whether it be the Suns or the Nuggets in the West. But, it would definitely help out Bron and AD with the entire team and kind of give them that option to LaVine's an all-around scorer and can also give you that defensive threat that probably Reeves and obviously D'Angelo Russell doesn't give you.
No, I agree, 100%. Like I said, Lakers do make a lot of sense, especially for all the points you bring up. LaVine's a great player. Like I said, I agree. It won't get the Lakers over the hill, over the Nuggets, because the Nuggets are just they're a powerhouse. Yeah, I mean,
what, they broke the record tonight?
Yeah.
The Celtics were 30 straight home win games, and they broke it tonight. I mean, when you got guys like Jokic and Murray just going crazy, and even Aaron Gordon's coming to his own this year too.
You can't compete against it. But the Lakers, like I said, they have the star power to do it. Yeah. They have the capital to get LaVine. It makes sense. Like I said, being an LA boy, the does make sense. Like I said, it does get them into a more competitive position because if you get to a 7-game series, if you get to the championship, who knows what'll happen. Right? Anything is possible once you get that 7-game series, and Zach LaVine has that ability to take over a game and get you a 30, 40-point night that can really steal a pivotal game in a playoff series.
I mean, 100% too. I mean, it's going to take off the 1 and 2 guys that are going to be on Bron and AD too, if you think about it. I mean, the Nuggets played the Lakers last year in the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yep.
And
conference finals.
yeah, and what was it? Like Nuggets in 5?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
So we can hope that they can have another asset to put them on their top. Last year, what they had, Russ is. I mean, he's a good role player on the Clippers right now, but he is not the Russ that he used to be. Whether it was when he was with OKC or even Houston, for that matter.
To go back on your point about the Raptors, they have was that Marquise Noel or Scotty Barnes?
Oh, Scotty Barnes, yeah. I mean, Scotty Barnes is a dog from Florida State.
Grady Dick.
Grady doesn't play.
Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, I mean, Schroeder's a good point guard.
Gary Trent, I haven't heard that name in a while. What was it, like 2 or 3 years ago when he had that like incredible fantasy season whenever who was it that got hurt? Because he was on
Kira Lewis Jr.
Was it Dame? Was it when Dame was out?
Yeah, I mean,
and Gary Trent took over?
GT was the
a
Blazers traded him to Toronto.
Carried my fantasy team that season.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's see. So let's move into some head coaching moves. So what do we think about Antonio Pierce officially becoming the head coach of the Raiders? He led them to a 5-4 record the last 9 games of the season this past year. Took over for Josh McDaniels. Seems like the boys wanted him there. Yeah. Max Crosby wanted him there.
Keist started off, man.
It's a really good move, in my opinion, but they don't have all the pieces, but I think he's going to help get those pieces for the Raiders to become competitive, like very competitive again, especially in their division, like especially with like the Chiefs and everything.
I mean, we saw Christmas Day, Raiders were right there and put the Chiefs down.
You have Aiden O'Connell as your quarterback, and you're able to go 5-4. I mean, it's not bad. Like, I mean, there's some great head coaching options out there, but for an intern guy to come in and go 5-4 with that Raiders team, if you give him some decent offensive pieces,
just think of those pieces that they could get. That's all he needs now. With how he did that back end of the season, all he needs is the pieces and put them into place.
I mean, we got to think too. Are they gonna look elsewhere for a quarterback, whether it be free agency like Kirk Cousins or maybe even in the draft? I've been hearing a lot of stuff. I don't know who they would go, but there's tons of quarterbacks.
It's a very deep quarterback draft this year.
I mean, they got to lock up Josh Jacobs too. Unbelievable running back. Another thing too, Antonio Pierce is a player's coach. He won a Super Bowl with the Giants back in the day when they knocked off the Patriots. Absolutely unbelievable guy. And I don't know if you guys saw this too. Max Crosby said if they did not sign Pierce,
he was gone.
He was gone. He was going to request a trade. So the fact that your star boy, Max Crosby, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL, now has his coach that he wants, I feel like that's going to be an even added bonus to get him out there and just truly – I mean, we could be talking about. I mean, there's always a debate between T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett for Defensive Player of the Year, but like Max Crosby's got to be up there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a absolute freak, and like you said, without Max Crosby on that team, that defense is not great.
No, I didn't even bring up Devontae Adams too. Yep. You've got to get a quarterback. I think that's their biggest move right now.
Like I said, you have the head coach, you have the defense. All you need is a quarterback, and like you said, it's a deep quarterback draft, and you got free agency.
There's not too many quarterbacks that I could see in the NFL right now going to the Raiders. I think it's going to be draft for sure.
Yeah, it's draft or you'd have to trade. And the only big trade piece I feel like is Kirk Cousins.
Well, Kirk's a free agent.
Yeah.
But
I mean, shoot, do we want to get into Dolphins trading Tua or Cowboys trading Dak or like?
Even, I mean, there's also Trey Lance. I mean, in Dallas. But
What do you feel about Trey Lance, bro?
All right, I was gonna save this rant for the Mike McCarthy, but I'll get this.
if we're on Pierce, let's move to McCarthy. So McCarthy is coming back for his 5th year with Dallas. The past 3 years, they've gone 12-5 for the past, so 36-15, and they've been wild card exits. So, what do we think about the move?
I'll let you guys go first, being that I'm the Cowboys fan. I'll save my piece for last. So,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's the right move. I truly believe Dan Quinn's gone too. Their DC. He, whether it be, takes an opportunity up in Seattle, or even I saw some, maybe even Atlanta if they don't get Bill, or even LA if they don't get Harbaugh for that matter. Like, it's Mike McCarthy cannot get them over the hump. The Cowboys can win the division year after year. They can be a top wildcard team and make the playoffs. But it doesn't matter if you can't win games in the playoffs.
Do you think it's just Mike McCarthy, though? Do you think that's the whole reason there that they can't win the playoffs, or is it defensive, offensive coordinators, other people on the staff here that's really affecting them?
Well,
I mean, they were missing Diggs, so that's a big piece to their defense. But
it's a matter of two. It's like you can play so well throughout the entire regular season, but there's like some freaking curse over them.
They're like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
them two are.
unfortunately,
so I don't know where else you would go necessarily. Like, obviously they're gonna give it one more year, and they're gonna see. But if they don't make it past the wild card, what do you do next? He's got to be gone, right?
And they have all the pieces in place. That Cowboys team is, I mean, one of the top right now, and yet they lose out here to Jordan Love and this team that went. What was the Packers' record this year? 9-8.
yeah.
But they got hot.
They did get very hot, but it's when every piece is in place for this Cowboys team. What are they doing wrong?
Yeah,
Like,
unstoppable.
Like I
yeah,
said, my 23 years of living, this is the best Cowboys team, the most talented Cowboys team that I've had the opportunity to watch. And for my 2 cents, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Because I look at what Mike McCarthy did with Dak Prescott this season. And I know Dak choked in the playoffs, but he had a really bad first half, but he played well in the second half. But I go back to last season and seeing Dak with his terrible control issues, not being able to throw the deep ball, and we get rid of Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore moves on. Mike McCarthy takes over the offensive play calling, and next thing you know, this season, Dak Prescott is in the MVP conversation. We start allowing him to do quarterback choice runs and, make the first read, go over all of his reads. You're doing short passes, getting the ball out quick, getting the ball into our offensive playmakers' hands, guys like Brandon Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, who came out of nowhere and is all of a sudden the top 3 tight end in the NFL.
Shout out Cavendish twins.
Yeah. All right, they got him going, I guess. But I like what I see from him on the offensive side. My big issue in watching that playoff game was obviously the bad offensive first half from Dak. Even though I still do think Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the future, because I just don't see anybody where else we can go. You can't tell me Trey Lance is our answer. Like, are you kidding me?
But he wasn't even
the guy
answer
lost
in San Fran.
He wasn't the answer in San Fran. He's not the answer here. He wasn't even our backup this season. You can't put him in. You could put a lot of people in our offense and them play well. But Dak is a guy that can win us a Super Bowl. And people who say it's not are just looking for a scapegoat onto why we keep choking in the playoffs. And there really is no answer to it. I don't know how. Maybe it's a locker room issue to where the guys just don't. Maybe they're just weak mentally. I don't know. I don't know what it is if we're not being prepared right. But you can't go and have a 12-win regular season, win the NFC East, get home field advantage where you're undefeated at home all season.
Yeah.
And then you lose in the first round to Jordan Love had himself an incredible game. I think Jordan Love is going to be a great quarterback in the future, but you don't lose to them at home. My big issue is with Dan Quinn. The guy refuses to make adjustments on the defense. You cannot blitz every single play, and we're a man coverage team. Why are we running zone coverage? Very consistent. I don't get it. You can say we don't have Trayvon Diggs, But Deron Bland stepped up this season, even though he got cooked quite a few games here. He's not, he's a ball hawk. He's like Trayvon. You had Trayvon back, yes, it helps a little bit, but it's not going to give up the fact that we are. I don't know what the stats say, but from watching the games, it feels like we're a bottom 5 run defense. You let James Cook put like 200 yards up.
I mean, what? Aaron had 3 rushing touchdowns last week.
I mean, I don't know where we get the defensive help. I don't think Jonathan Hankins should be that much of a difference to our defense. That shouldn't, but we lost him, and our run defense really fell off the face of the earth. But I don't know. I love what Dan Quinn started with this defense, but we have to have somebody else come in who's willing to make adjustments and run a defensive scheme that helps our star players like Micah. Because, I mean, Micah gets held a lot. Yeah, I make that argument all the time. But we got to loosen him up. We got to get him free. We got to be able to control the run, and then we're going to not get beat as deep as often on these big pass plays. Because that allows us to play the game a little bit safer.
I mean, last weekend, I could countless, almost every other play or every single play, Jordan Love had somebody open. And it's guys that probably, people that don't know football have never even heard of these guys, like Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed. Yep. I mean, the list could go on and on about the wide receivers that the Packers have truly brought up out of nowhere. I mean, they have Christian Watson, which I would hope everyone knows who watches football. But you have other guys that are young rookies, and the Packers are going to be a good team, very good team for years to come. And I think last week, Jordan Love solidified, like you said, he's going to be a quarterback, and he will and can be the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers going into the future.
All righty, so let's get into our next one. We got a lot of other head coaching positions open. We got Atlanta, Chargers, Seattle, Tennessee. Is there any other ones I'm missing?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
So we got Bill Belichick, Dan Quinn, Jim Harbaugh, and Mike Vrabel. Those are top 4 candidates right now, it seems like. And then there's a lot of other offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators that are getting interviewed. But what do we think's next for those teams? Who's the next head coach?
Real happy to see Jim Harbaugh out of Michigan being an Ohio State fan. But I could really see him going to the Titans.
Really?
Yes. I think he could change a lot around there with the Titans.
See, it makes sense.
What do you think he would change? Like just the culture?
Culture's a lot in sports. You need to have a fan base and all that. But no, you got to think about this team. They had so many weapons on, especially offense. I mean, think of that wide receiver core. I think he can bring a lot just with his name being out there, being on the Titans. He can bring a lot of just people looking into the Titans saying, I want to play for him.
I'll be honest, wherever, and our good friend Lingle will say this to a T, wherever DeAndre Hopkins goes, he brings an aura of true death to the entire team in football. And don't get me wrong, the Miami Dolphins lost on Monday night to that Tennessee Titans team. Will Levis led. And Mike Vrabel, I think he's a great coach. I don't even know why they fired him in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But Tennessee is an interesting place. I personally see Harbaugh going to the Chargers. I think they have a strong quarterback right now in Justin Herbert. They're going to lock up Austin Eckler. Keenan Allen, he's a good wide receiver. Has been for a really long time. Injuries have definitely derailed his career over the past 2-3 years. I don't know if Quentin Johnston's going to be him. I know they got him in the draft from TCU. And who knows, it may be just a rookie season slump. It's usually the sophomore slumps, but you never know. I think if Harbaugh goes over there, they could bring in, whether it be a wide receiver or even, I don't even know if Eckler leaves in that sense. Harbaugh is a guy and a coach, like you said. We've seen it at Michigan. He finally got over the hump this year, beating Ohio State.
It's at the big boy table.
And he knows how to bring a group of guys together and truly create that players coach mentality and all-out fight. Because I'll be honest, being an Alabama fan, that Michigan team scared me before. Like, don't get me wrong, I was on the high from the Georgia win, but like, Michigan had one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in all of college football. Their offense, their run game with Corum and Edwards, with J.J. McCarthy, who, if he goes to, Harbaugh goes to the Chargers, that's a massive upgrade. Herbert from McCarthy, like, I think the sky's the limit with the Chargers if he goes there.
And you're not wrong at all for that. Like, I can easily see him going to the Chargers, having all the weapons already there that he can use. But does he want to help with building or having these weapons and knowing how to use them?
Well, then he also used to play in LA, didn't he? Or one of his family members did or something, didn't they?
So before he went to he coached the 49ers when they played the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I remember the lights went out. I believe it was in New Orleans, right?
It was. The lights went out and right off kickoff.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was the Colin Kaepernick and Joe Flacco. Huh?
Yeah, Joe Flacco, Kaepernick. That was way back.
Crabtree and
Michael Crabtree.
Steve Smith Sr.
For my coaching decision, though, I'm going to go Bill Belichick to the Falcons. I feel like that's the most obvious choice here out of all these coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill just makes sense there, right? I mean, he's had, 2 interviews with the Falcons already? I feel like it's only poetic after, the whole, 28-3 comeback or whatever it was? I feel like it's only poetic that he goes to Atlanta and fixes the issues there. But I want to throw out a wild card to you guys here and what your thoughts are. I don't know if they've decided that they're going to fire him or not, if they're going to stick with him. What about Nick Sirianni in Philly? Does he get canned for one of these? I mean, the coaches you have available right now with Vrabel, with Belichick, with Harbaugh, I mean, those are 3 elite level coaches. And if Philly opens up that spot, it's kind of tough for someone to pass on a team like the Eagles.
True. I mean, do you guys see what Fletcher Cox said in his interview? What was it? It was either yesterday or a couple days ago. He called a reporter a clown for asking if they thought Sirianni is gone. So I'll tell you this: Sirianni has the group. He has the guys, and they're behind him.
I think it's just within themselves. They got to dig deep after this loss, and
not only that, but I think it may be even above Sirianni. We may be getting into upper management, whether or not they want to keep him around, because the Eagles have been known to fire guys like that.
That's what I mean. Like I said, they very quick leash.
So I like how he has the locker room. So I think if I were to give you my opinion right now, I think he's going to stay.
I agree.
But I wouldn't put it past the Eagles if they do end up
A
firing.
lot of Eagles fans that want Sirianni out.
so go back on your Belichick, Atlanta. I think if he went there, we could see Kyle Pitts make a Gronk type skyrocket. I could see Pitts going off.
I think they need a quarterback in Atlanta first.
Well, one of my buddies was saying bring Kirk Cousins there.
Kirk to Atlanta. See, I feel as though they would draft a quarterback, whether it be Penix Jr. or possibly even trade up a little bit and try to get Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, anything of that sort. They have the assets. We think about it: Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. What they don't have is a quarterback. You cannot tell me Desmond Ridder is a winning quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you guys going to tell me I'm wrong? Like, seriously.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, ship him away.
And they got rid of Artie Smith, which, I mean, there have been comparisons. I know Sean McDermott's going on with all of his, Osama bin Laden stuff right now. But, Arthur Smith, truly, there's been stuff everywhere. People calling him an actual terrorist to that offense. Yep. I mean, there were games that Bijan Robinson didn't even get the ball.
Horrible for my fantasy team.
Unreal. Come on.
Yeah, no, that was horrible mismanagement of that team.
Yeah, it's like
It's horrendous.
when Obama called after the Phillies-Mets game on Sunday Night Baseball, like, we got him, Osama's dead. When Artie Smith got fired, literally the night of when the season ended, it was like, we got him, Osama Jr.'s gone.
What a tough look for Artie Smith too. After the game, when they had the fake knee touchdown, and he's in there chirping who's the Saints head coach? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Oh my God, Dennis Allen.
Yes, I think it. Yeah, no, chirping him.
Allen wasn't even a part of it. It was the players.
Yeah, no, that's another thing too. In New Orleans, Jameis. They said that when Jameis made the call,
Gotta get that money, baby.
Hey,
Nice.
you know what that tells me? He does not have that locker room in New Orleans. I think the whole NFC South is in shambles right now. I mean, we could talk about the Panthers. The Panthers,
Oh yeah, the Panthers have an opening too.
they have an opening. Who wants to go there? Like, honestly.
Dan Quinn.
Well, so that's we got Seattle, and I guess we got Carolina now. So who do you think?
Pete Carroll's available too.
Well, I heard
think Pete's staying.
he's
in
going to go
Seattle.
into like a managerial role
That's right,
with
that's
the
right,
Seahawks.
that's
But he
right.
did say if
I heard
he would
that.
still be open to coaching if the right position came.
I tell you,
But-
Carolina's not the right position.
Who do we think fills in Seattle and Carolina? I've been hearing Dan Quinn a lot to Seattle.
Dan Quinn back to Seattle. I could see that as their head coach.
I don't know why anybody would want that man as a head coach after his track record. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, he made a top 5 defense in Dallas, but he was a terrible head coach in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Terrible head coach.
I couldn't give you one name that I could think of that would fit this Panthers team at all right now.
No, it's going to be a massive rebuild. And don't get me wrong, I think Bryce Young, people are giving a lot of hate to him more than he deserves right now. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have running backs. They don't have wide receivers. They don't have anything all around him.
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
Come on, guys. Come on. Let's be real here. They don't have actual assets to help Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about rookie quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud had guys. Look at him right now.
Nico Collins.
Yeah. Dalton Schultz. Singletary. I mean,
Damian Pierce before he got injured.
yeah, Noah Brown, too. I mean, former Cowboy. Dude went off.
Noah Brown's best wide receiver 4 the Cowboys ever had.
Yeah.
Man. So drop in the comments where you guys think all these coaches are going to go. Who's going to fill what team as the new head coach?
Yeah, and where's Desmond Ridder going to go, guys? Drop that in the comments. Yeah, let's see. Is he the next Battlehawks quarterback? I sure as hell don't want him.
Alrighty, so let's jump into, before we get into some divisional wild card weekend results, let's talk a little bit of baseball. So, big news coming out of St. Louis today. I know a lot of locker room debates. I know a lot of you guys followers are from St. Louis. So, we got Matt Carpenter returning on a 1-year $740K.
You know what I'm cooking right now?
Got the salsa.
I'm cooking the salsa, boys. I think he is back.
Hey, I'll tell you what right now. He could pop off this season. He's definitely not going to, but who the hell knows? It's baseball.
Against the Cubs, he will.
Oh, of course he will.
Better believe that.
He probably will. But, I mean, just yet another incredible free agent move by the John Mozeliak. He loves his, 38-year-old players, man. Surprisingly, I wonder if he's going to put him into the bullpen at this point, man. The way Mozeliak loves his 40-year-old old pitchers. Matt Carpenter fits right in with it. I like it because I always joke that Matt Carpenter's the best third baseman that the Cardinals have ever had. The salsa king himself, man. I mean, I'm happy to see him back here as a Cubs fan, of course. But
Strikeout home run, got a guy. I mean,
hey,
when the ball's flying in Wrigley in the summer, you know Matt Carpenter's hitting it over the right board. So
a good old DH that can't hit lefties. I love it.
I mean, I did see something on Twitter today. It was said since Marmol we can't figure him out if he can't control the clubhouse. They got to bring in these veteran guys who used to play. Brought in Lance Lynn, Carpenter. I mean, obviously a few years ago they had Waino, Yachty, Pujols. So
I think here's the thing.
what do we think?
I mean, the Cardinals brought in Yadier Molina
Mm-hmm.
as like an advisor role.
And then they brought in a new guy too, from the Red Sox a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah. I don't know what his
some
name.
outside guy to see what's going on internally.
What is his name? Look him up. You know his name? The guy from the Red Sox? Look it up.
Look it up, Jamie.
But while you're looking up that, I think it's only a matter of time until the Cardinals kind of slowly but surely ship Marmol out and bring in Yachty as the next manager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a Reds fan, what do you think, Keist? Like the Central, I truly believe is wide open right now.
It really is. You could tell me one team that you think is just going to, for sure, lock in, finish on the top of the division. There's no one. But
I mean, do you have confidence in the Cubs to win the division after signing who's the Japanese guy that they just got?
I can't remember his name.
Shoto Managa?
I think
Isn't it
so.
Something like
sounds
that.
Right. But
Japanese pitcher?
no, I don't. I mean, I think we'll be competitive again. I think it'll be a lot like last year. We're still just kind of waiting on that influence from our pipeline because, I mean, we're a top 3 pipeline right now in the MLB.
And what's Belly? Are they going to re-sign Belly too? Like, what's up with that?
I hope so.
Belly's still a free agent right now. I mean, we're talking about
–
and what? They brought in counsel. They just got whatever his name is, Imaga.
Yeah,
Manga.
Yeah, Maga from Dodgers.
No,
Yeah, Maga. Yeah, no. We also got what is his name from the Dodgers? We got him in a trade a few weeks ago. Who's going to be playing full time third base this season?
I don't know. Look it up.
I'll look that up. But before I lose this, the guy the Cardinals brought in, the exec, was Chaim Bloom.
Chaim Bloom. I mean, he was a guy.
Chain Bloom, something
Yeah,
like that.
whatever Bloom. Buddy knows how to draft guys. The Red Sox. I mean, we look back on it. What Betts?
Mm-hmm.
Main guy, obviously.
I think they have Bogarts.
Well, I mean, the list.
Benintendi, I think.
The list can go
Lots
on
of
and
good guys.
on for guys that truly came into their own with the Red Sox and then they got shipped out. Verdugo's gone. He's in New York now.
Mhm.
They didn't give him a chance, I don't think, either. But to go back to with the Cardinals, I think, truth be told, it's a good move to bring him in for the clubhouse. I don't know how much of an impact he'll actually make. We'll see. The entire NL Central, whether it be the Brewers,
I mean,
Brewers
could be.
who seems like they're selling. Like, we don't know. They said that they're going to keep Burns, but he could be gone too. Cardinals, I don't know. They're probably not going to sign anybody. The Cubs, whether or not they keep Belly or not. The Reds are an interesting team, though. I want to hear what you have to think about the Reds, man.
we're young. We have these prospects right now. We have this pipeline going where we have so many young guys. One starts underperforming, we go down to AAA, bring someone else up. I feel like that's what happened somewhat this season, where it was we just kept on bringing up someone, putting them back down. I feel like it's gonna keep on happening.
I mean, dude,
this upcoming season, but we have those young weapons right now where I feel like other teams should be scared of some of those weapons.
100%. I mean, guys like Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McClain. I mean, I don't know. Do you think they're going to keep India?
I'm on the fence about that one. Yes, I like India. I like him as a person. I like him as a player and everything, but I think we have better young guys coming up right now where we can use India as some good value.
Yeah, get a rotational piece because I think that's the weakest part of the Reds team is their rotation.
100%.
Yes.
They need some starters.
So we also had another big move. We had Josh Hader signed a massive 5-year, $90+ million deal with the Astros.
Yeah.
Lots of people are thinking Astros could be close to going down after this past loss to the Rangers. But what are we thinking about this big deal?
I mean, when it comes down to it, if the Astros can get a lead and like past the 6th inning,
They got Ryan Presley and Hader.
well, they have another guy too.
And then Abreu, I think.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they still have Hector Neris?
I think he's a free agent right now.
Okay. I saw something today on Twitter, or X is what the new people call it. I'm going to call it till Twitter to the day I die. But you get the ball to those guys 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Obviously, they're going to have probably once in every blue moon, they're going to blow something, and they're going to play a good team that's going to be able to hit those guys. But right now, with their rotation too, fully healthy, and their bats are going to come. Jordan is unbelievable. If he can stay healthy, I think Jordan has the capability, even with, because Shohei is just going to be hitting this season. You got Acuna. I don't know if he can recreate what he did last year. It's maybe a crazy hot take. I got Jordan Alvarez winning the MVP this season.
I could see it. I could see it. So I think he's bona fide top 5 player in the league. At least top 5 hitter for sure.
His power's unreal.
I mean, the pop off his bat is insane.
And we all know you love Kyle Tucker, man.
Oh, I do love me some Kyle Tucker. I love Kyle Tucker. But I think it's a good signing for him. It may be a little expensive. But Josh Hader consistently has been a top 3, if not higher, closer in the MLB.
When healthy.
When healthy. Exactly. And like I said, you pair him up with Presley.
Mm-hmm. And whoever else they got at their 7th role.
Your 8-9 is going to be just disgusting. I mean, yeah, I don't see how you can't be a fan of that signing if you're an Astros fan.
It's such a good signing. It really is. Because you have to think, just this Astros team, all healthy. Mm-hmm. And even if they lose 1-2 players, this rotation that they have going, I don't think it's going to be 2-3 years where they start to hit it downhill. I think they still have 4 or 5 where there's still going to be great competition and everything within their division and all over the MLB. They're going to be competing every single game, and I don't think it's coming here soon. I think it's going to be multiple years from now is when they're going to have to rebuild a little bit from where they're at.
I mean, they've been doing it for close to a decade, so.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Baltimore last season with Felix Bautista and was it Yannick Cano?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very similar 8-9 punch that they have there, and you saw how well that worked out for the Astros or for the Orioles.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's all about being healthy, and I think that's what the Orioles kind of lacked at the end of the season. Cano was out, Bautista was too, and the Rangers, they took it and ran, and they won their first World Series. And I think the Rangers-Astros rivalry is truly going to be renewed for not only next year, but a lot of years to come in the future.
All righty. So before we get into some more football with the playoffs, let's get a little game going.
Okay.
So I'm thinking first one we do some type where we do name the players. So we got to choose a team, and then you can name any player, current or past, and you can't name duplicates. You just got to keep going until someone either can't think or somebody names the same player.
Okay. Where league?
So what sport should we do?
Sport, team. What are we thinking?
It's up to we can do some football since we got playoffs this weekend.
Okay.
Let's do a little NFL action here.
We gotta do. Let's think of one team. Yes. Let's do the Rams, since they were former St. Louis.
Okay.
I mean,
I can go on and on with this one.
I'm about that. More of a hockey guy, but we'll do what I can.
All right, who you want to start it off? Where are we going? Like circle or
yeah, we can go
1-1-1? Okay.
Let's name it off. Sam Bradford.
James Laurinaitis.
Oh God, dude, mine will go Chris Long.
Are we going like previous players or current?
Previous or current? It could be either.
Okay.
It could be
Cooper
St.
Cup.
Aaron Donald.
Puka Nakua.
Michael Umanawanui.
Jared Goff.
Robert Woods.
Zach Stacy.
Brandon Cooks.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm out on this one.
Oh no.
Matt Gay.
Come on.
Oh.
Matt Gay.
Tavon Austin.
Stedman Bailey.
Greg Zerline.
Did we name Todd Gurley? Todd Gurley.
Johnny Hecker.
Son of a bitch, you keep taking mine. Let me think back here. Orlando Pace.
Didn't Nickel Roby Coleman? Didn't he play?
You got to fact check that one. I'm not sure, bro. Fact check that.
I'll check it because I don't know if he has or not, honestly.
Wasn't he the one that did the dirty hit on the Saints?
Check it out.
I know one that I missed, and I'm real
Not
mad
Robbie
now
Coleman.
about that one.
We're going to have to fact check this one, bro.
I remember how to spell his second name. There we go. Never really coming. Oh, he was a Los Angeles Ram.
It was, okay. My apologies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. I'll stick with the special team stuff. I'll go Jake McQuaid.
Jalen Ramsey.
Wow. Keep to lead.
Oh, I forgot a kid till he played on them. Oh my god.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt, man, how can you forget Kurt? Mark Bolger.
Oh, that's a good one.
Isaac Bruce.
Austin Davis.
Case Keenum.
Wow. Let's see. Well, who was that?
We got it. That's time.
Who the hell was the quarterback that played that one that got in the neck brace that went to the hospital? It was Woodford or something.
Yeah, his name's Jake Woodford.
Yeah.
Do we let him stay in or was no, that was time.
It's time.
All right. So just us two, right? All right.
They got me screwed here.
Isaiah P.
Nick Foles.
Let's go with Torrey Holt.
Steven Jackson.
Isaac Bruce.
Oh shit. I didn't expect you to come back to me that quickly. Oh god. I'm trying to think of who was the offensive lineman? I think that's time for me, honestly.
Is that time?
Yep.
I say we call time on that.
Work, man.
Yep, Andrew Whitworth. Yep, Andrew Whitworth.
Need to fact check myself.
You want to say one more just to ice it down or no?
I mean, you can if you want
You
to.
can
I mean,
if
shit, send it.
Nah, I don't need to show my ball knowledge too much.
I didn't expect to beat Hilge in that, so I'll take that, man.
No Stetson Bennett coming out here? Come on. Got to get some QB2s in the action or QB3, whatever he is.
Not even sure Stetson Bennett's going to be returning to the Los Angeles Rams.
That's what I
Let's
heard.
be real, boys. Let's be real.
Might need a cane here soon with how old he is.
Who was
Depending
that?
on Tyler Higbee, I mean, good lord.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Tyler Higbee.
Unintact after what happened last
Danny
Ooh,
Amendola.
yeah.
God, I'm thinking of everybody now that I'm out.
Welker.
Well, Wes, yeah.
I mean, the list could go on and on with guys.
Jeff Fisher.
That's a coach.
I know, but still
Steve
part of it.
Spagnuolo, if we're going.
Oh my god, another terrible head coach, but a great coordinator.
Man, so
Les Snead, general manager.
we that was a good game.
That was a good game. I like that one. I hate the Rams, though. Don't get it twisted. I freaking hate the Rams.
All I'm saying is, if we run it back in hockey, it's over, boys.
Drop in the comments if you are from St. Louis and you followed the Rams before they left. Who is your favorite Rams player? And if you are from LA or anywhere else and your Rams are your team, drop who your favorite player is.
Yeah, why are you a Rams fan? No, let's be real. Why are you a Rams fan? I hate Stan Kroenke. Do you like Stan Kroenke?
No.
Do you like Stan Kroenke?
Not at all.
Do you like
Nope.
Stan Kroenke?
I do not like Stan Kroenke either.
Alrighty, so let's see. Last weekend we had super wild card weekend. We had Texans destroyed the Browns.
Yeah. Rip Joe Flacco.
Chiefs beat your Dolphins in one of the fourth coldest game in NFL history.
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were going to lose. So.
Packers upset the Cowboys. We had the first win in 32 years for the Lions by beating the Rams. We had the Bills beat your Steelers. Second half
They
was
played well, though.
the refs, and
Played better than I thought that would ever play.
then we had the Bucks beating the Eagles. So this weekend we got Texans at Ravens, Packers at 49ers, Bucks at Lions, and Chiefs at Bills. So right now favorites are Ravens, 49ers, Lions, and Bills. So all the home teams are favored.
Not a surprise there.
Yeah, not at all.
Not a surprise.
So let's get into our first game. We got Texans at Ravens. What are we feeling for this game?
Texans and Ravens. I I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I'm interested to see what the Ravens can do with playoff Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what rookie C.J. Stroud did last week. A great rookie head coach as well, D'Amico Ryans. Roll Tide through and through there. I'm going to go Ravens, but I think the Texans will cover with that 9.5.
Oh, I think
Uh,
easily they cover.
I completely agree with that. That's going to be such a high scoring game, but it's going to be a close one.
So are you guys going Ravens also?
I'll tell you right now. I think if the Texans O-line can control the Ravens pass rush, who is number 1 in the league right now for sacks, if they can keep him to under 3 sacks max, and you give C.J. Stroud enough time to pick the defense apart, I think the Texans win this football game. And I'm taking the Texans to upset the Ravens on the road.
I'm completely with Goldy. It's Ravens are going to win it, but Texans will cover.
I think I'll go with the Ravens. Shout out Ryan Fetch. He's a big Ravens fan.
Yeah, hey, listen to his pod. It just dropped tonight as well, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting the name right now.
Yeah, me too.
Rebounding.
Rebounding and astounding.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I'll go with the Ravens. But real question though, so before we get to the next game, Ravens have been off for 2 weeks. Would you rather be the team that played last week and then you come in this week, or would you rather have that bye?
Bye. Personally, I'd rather have the bye because just you played 17 straight weeks. You're going to be banged up. Having that extra week to heal some of the bruises and the bumps and the minor injuries that people may have, it helps a lot. Even though you may be off, but as long as you're game planning correctly and you're still practicing and running live plays, it shouldn't make that much of a difference outside of maybe the first quarter. Your first drive, you may have some rust, but at that point, you should knock it off. But I'd rather be a little bit healthier than play a game and be just as banged up.
I think it all depends on the team. You get a much more experienced team, a little bit older team. Yeah, give them that 2 weeks off. Get healthier again. Work back on getting the playbooks down in your head and all that. If you're a younger team, I feel like you have to keep on playing. You want to keep your guys moving, learning new stuff every day.
I mean, I think it's what's benefited the most for the Texans as well as the Packers in that sense. Because when teams like that are getting hot, trying to make the playoffs, both those teams, they made it into the final week of the season. The Ravens rested their players against the Steelers in the final week and lost. So these guys, not just 2 weeks, it's been almost 3 weeks now since they've actually played competitive football. Granted, I still think the Ravens will win, but I'm with Keist on this one. I think it depends on how hot the team is and the age of the overall players in the collective group in its own right.
And it's also, you sit your players, you lose that game. I know the game doesn't mean anything, but it's still a loss. Some people can see that as morale, especially some of the starters that do still play. They're like, how can we lose this? I played one of the best games I've ever played before. While there's these young teams like the Packers and Texans, they go out there, they win that last week. They're hot. They're ready to go. They're fired up. So
I get
it's all on that.
I view it as like if you're an athlete, especially a professional athlete, you should be dialed in kind of no matter what. Like I said, I get where you guys are coming from, and I do understand. I think it does help certain teams, but whether you're a rookie or a vet, you should still be dialed in no matter what, and you should want that break.
True.
But I get it.
So next game we got tomorrow is Packers at 49ers. So we got Packers team who's been hot of lately, and then 49ers probably arguably been the best team in the NFL this whole season. So how are we feeling on this game?
Man, it's another one of those games where I just feel like the weather, it's going to be hot. The ball is hot in the sense of what, a lot of the country has to deal with. It's going to be warm in San Fran, Santa Clara specifically. The boys are going to be throwing the ball. Purdy and Love are going to be slinging it. Debo's going to be getting open. Ayuk's going to be getting open. Kittle as well. CMC is going to get the ball. On the Packers side, Aaron Jones is going to be running. Is A.J. Dillon healthy, or do we not know yet? Still questionable going
I
in
think he's
tomorrow?
still-
Questionable.
Yeah, they're going to have Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, all of those guys. It's going to be an absolute shootout, I believe.
Mhm.
The difference between both of those teams. I know the Packers hadn't had defensive struggles the entire season long with Joe Barry as their DC, but they've came on in the past couple weeks. But there's nothing that I can see right now that is going to stop Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Fred Warner, and the entire San Francisco 49ers defense. I got the 49ers winning.
Purdy is him. That's all I can say. I don't understand some of this slander of he's only good because he has the wide receivers, tight ends, everything around him. No. I think Purdy is that quarterback where he's going to be incredible. He has been incredible ever since he started playing. I not only take Niners win, I take Niners cover. 9.5.
I think it's been a great story. The Packers, even being a Cowboys fan, they won out. I think it was like 3 of the last 4 in order to lock up a playoff spot. They come into Dallas, they upset the Cowboys in a blowout fashion. But I think the story ends here for the Packers. I mean, that's just the Niners are too good for this team. I mean, like I said, it's going to be different weather. There's just too many weapons to cover for that Packers defense. Like I said, they're playing well.
And then they got to stop their offense too.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well,
I mean,
their defense is unbelievable.
it is. And like you said, I love Jair, but you got to cover either Debo or Ayuk, and either way, one of them is going to be open. And you got to worry about CMC over the middle. Then you got the
Kittle.
matchup nightmare, exactly. George Kittle. I just don't see how it. I agree with Keist. I think it's a 10-point game.
Go on your point. 49ers killed the Eagles earlier and then this season. And then last year, if Purdy was healthy, they probably would have smoked the Eagles again and gone to the Super Bowl. So with that, I think nobody's stopping this 49ers offense. So I got to go 49ers also.
Now, here's the thing, though. We look back at this.
I know we're looking like all the
Packers,
NBC and
Packers fans, don't come at us.
I'm looking at you, Luke Walker.
so now we go to Sunday's games. We got a good one with Tampa Bay versus Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit will be hosting their second.
You know they're playing in a dome, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not outside.
Yeah.
Yep. But Detroit will be hosting their second playoff game in back-to-back weeks. They're looking to go to the NFC Championship. So how are we feeling on this one? Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, 2 former number 1 picks. They're playing some hot ball right now. So
I mean, I think just easy pick. It's got to be the Lions. There's the atmosphere in that stadium, and it's a dome too, so they're going to be able to hear the loud crowd. You know, you may be cold walking out of the bus, Tampa that being, but you know, shout out.
Ford Field, man.
Well, not just Ford Field, but shout out Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Bowles down in Tampa, you know, the clown of a reporter asking her, you know, are you guys worried about the weather? They played a dome, sweetie. Played a dome. But, yeah, no, I think the run attack with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery's been unreal all season long. Jared Goff's been slinging it. I mean, last week, Josh Reynolds had a game of his life. Revenge game, too, even him with Goff. Former Rams come over with the Stafford trade. You guys, underrated dudes, Khalif Raymond, Sam Laporta, unbelievable rookie tight end, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's going to have a big game, and he's big-time player, too. Last week, we saw Mike Evans couldn't catch the ball. Godwin got the ball, but that was against the Eagles. At home.
A terrible defense.
Yeah.
James Bradbury.
The Lions, big.
So are you saying Lions spread big, or are you
What is the
saying
spread right now?
It's 6.5.
6.5?
6.5?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's a touchdown, guys.
It's definitely the Lions. I really, on this game, I don't think I could choose a spread because Baker is either on.
Yeah, 6 now.
So it's trending in the direction for Bucks.
My thing is,
Not sure why.
Baker is either on or off. There's no in between for him. Where I don't think you could take this spread at all. And I mean, if you want to, I'd take Lions, but Baker's just so inconsistent. I still think he might be in talks. He might get into talks with contract extension at the end of the season, just with how he's helped out this Bucks team. But it's going to be the Lions winning. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
No. I saw this thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or X, like I said, whatever you want to call it.
Twitter.
But it was someone did a little detective work, and it was comparing the Philadelphia Eagles to the Arizona Cardinals. Right. Now, hear me out. I think it was the 2019 Cardinals, may have been. But either way, whatever team, it might have been 2017. Either way, whatever Cardinals team it was, both the Eagles and the Cardinals started out 10-1. They both lost, 5 of their last 6 games, right? And they finished with the same record, right? That happens. They go to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Each team loses to a 9-7 team. One loses to the Los Angeles Rams. One loses to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it was 19 because that year, the Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl
Against the Cincinnati Bengals.
against the Cincinnati Bengals. So, based off of these statistics and previous things that have happened, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should win the Super Bowl. They won't because they're going to lose to the Lions, but it is Baker Mayfield revenge season, and Baker Mayfield will get them to cover the spread. I think the Lions win by a field goal.
Yeah, I think this will be probably like last week, Lions, Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close game, 1 point. I think this will be a very high-scoring game first half. And it'll come down to the defense the second half. I think field goal is good. I think Bucks, they got a lot of players still from that Super Bowl run a few years ago with Brady. They got the defense still. Then they got Evans, Godwin. I think this game goes to overtime, I think.
Overtime.
With Lions winning by a field goal.
Wow. Okay.
Lions will be going to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
And then finally, the game that everybody's been waiting for. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes rematch, the trilogy for the third time in the past 4 years. Past 2 times in the playoffs, Mahomes has won. They've
also been an Arrowhead, though.
They killed him and are won by 2 touchdowns in the championship, AFC Championship. And then they had the playoff game where they won in overtime in the divisional round a few years ago. But this time it's in Josh's house in Buffalo.
Yeah.
We got the cold weather.
Highmark Stadium.
What are we thinking?
Bills Mafia, man. Hey, I tell you what, it's going to be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see how Mahomes will handle the road playoff game.
Well, also we had, my bad to interrupt, but
No, you're
to
good.
go back to they also, Chiefs and Bills also faced off earlier this year. This is the game where I saw something, it was Tony lined up off sides.
Yep.
And if it wasn't because of that, they would have won the game, and the game would have been at Arrowhead this week. So,
No way.
so if it wasn't because of that, the game would be at Arrowhead instead of Buffalo. So,
wow.
But yeah, Tony had that touchdown or lined up off sides, threw it back to Kelsey, or Kelsey threw it to him to score.
But
what are we thinking?
I mean, you're going in. It's still going to be cold no matter what, whether you're in Kansas City or Buffalo. The Bills Mafia has been waiting for this game probably since the last time they lost to them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
When there was like 14 or 21 points scored, something like that. In the final, like
2 minutes.
2 minutes or something like that. Yeah. And now they're at home. They've got the Bills Mafia around them.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, the Bills have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL the past 5 weeks. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but after McDermott made the, comparison to, who was it?
It was Al Qaeda.
It was Al Qaeda. It was freaking Al Qaeda. He's been their leader in Osama bin Laden, and they have not lost since. Shout out Artie Smith. But anyway, it's going to be a great game. Mahomes going to put up points. Allen's going to put up points. Pacheco's going to run the ball. He's going to be back in his home little territory. He went to Rutgers, grew up around there, New York kid. James Cook, big guy. If Gabe Davis, I think Gabe Davis is the X factor here. I know we're talking all Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs, but Gabe Davis, I personally believe, is the X factor. If he plays, Bills win. If not, give me the Chiefs.
Bills Mafia all the way in this game. It's another cold weekend. I mean, we saw with the Chiefs when they were playing. It's not going to be as cold as that game, obviously. But we saw when they were playing, the Chiefs wide receivers couldn't catch like normal, but just a little bit worse. I think it's going to be the same thing again. And they're asking for they're asking for the Bills Mafia. They're asking for the Bills Mafia to come back in there and shovel the snow out.
Yeah, I saw they doing that today.
It's going to be Bills Mafia for the win in that game. I don't see any way that the Chiefs could pull something out to win this.
I mean, you saw last weekend, Bills fans were throwing the snow up in the air every time they got a touchdown, so they won.
It's going to be maybe the rowdiest crowd that I've ever seen for a playoff game in the NFL. Like I said, the last 2 times they played, this has just culminated into one. I mean, this might be the best rivalry in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I mean, these two teams they're 2 powerhouses. You have 2 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL going at it. But I think this is the year it finally changes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, and it would not surprise me if he does some crazy crap to pull out a win, right? Because that's just what he does. But I'm sorry, you can't wheel out these receivers, Rashee Rice, who's good, but you can't have a receiving core Rashee Rice, Kadarius Toney, Travis Kelce, ever since he got with Taylor Swift, all of a sudden has been a pretty average tight end.
Been butterfingers.
I don't even think this game is close. I think the Bills get on them early, they get an early lead, and they continue to extend it. I think I can see the Bills winning by at least 2 scores, 2 touchdowns here. I see winning by at least 14. I think they blow them out in the water. I don't even think it's close. Give me the Mafia, man.
Wow. I mean, to go back to your guys' points, this is also Mahomes' first game in the playoffs away from Arrowhead other than
Super
him
Bowls.
playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So right now,
What is it? 2?
Bills are favored by 2.5.
14 points.
Over under 45.5.
Oh.
I think last few games, I mean, it was like the AFC Championship was like 36-24 or 38-24, and then it was I think it was 42-36 in the other game. Those have been some high scoring. I think this one comes down to defense. It'll be cold. I don't know. I feel like Chiefs have been there. They have this experience. But I feel like I got to go the Bills. I feel like this is their time. I said it. I've been saying it before. I said it in my prediction last weekend. That it was going to be Bills, Niners, Super Bowl. Bills are hot. And when you're hot going into the playoffs, nobody can stop you. So I think the Bills win this one. So
we all picked the Bills, and we all picked the Niners. Listen, Chiefs and Packers fans, if you guys can win, I'll say I was wrong. I'll admit that. But we'll see.
drop in the comments who you think is you guys got winning this weekend. And then who you guys think will be winning the AFC and NFC championship also. And before we go, we had, so majority of us had the Ravens, right? Except for you.
Ravens.
And then we all had
Texans,
the
Ravens.
Niners, and then I think majority had the Lions, and everybody had the Bills. So with that 4-team parlay on DraftKings, you chose the Ravens, Niners, Lions, and Bills. It comes out to plus 246.
It's pretty low.
Yeah, it is. So if we're saying maybe throw $20, you threw $20 on
Why
there.
not 50?
Well, some of our fans are. We're not sure how you guys are working with money wise, but let's say if you threw $20 in there, you'd win $50 to come out to 70. So
Let's see. What would you put at 50?
if you put in $50, you'd win an easy $173. So
Throw 100. Let's do 100.
100 would come out to be $346.
I mean, it ain't gonna hit because the Texans have beaten the Ravens' ass this week.
Okay.
So it's anybody's ball game once the playoffs hit. So,
Here in America.
but I know you guys want. We want to give you guys each of us a pick for this weekend for you guys. So let's start off with King Goldy. What are you feeling for? What's a lock for this weekend?
The lock for this week. Let's see here.
What game are you feeling the most?
So the thing that I like the most right now has gotta be, I'm looking at the Packers and 49ers game. Give me the over 50.5. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. So 51 total points, if not more. I think if the 49ers go up big, Packers are going to have to sling the ball and Jordan Love's going to have to get it. Kind of like with the Packers and Cowboys last week in that sense. I believe the over hit in that game too, did it not?
I believe so.
Yeah. I like that a lot again here. Give me the over 50.5 in the Packers 49ers game.
Me?
Go ahead, Keist.
I'm looking at this Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens game. And we're going over under just like you, Goldie. This is going to be a shootout game. I mean, it's going to be slinging the ball all over the place, running the ball, touchdown after touchdown. We're going over 43.5 right now. I don't see how this could go under. I feel like there's holes in both sides that will be exposed this weekend where there will be a lot of touchdowns.
I'm also going to go with the Ravens and Texans game. I kind of went back and forth on this, so I'll give you two parlays because I'm kind of torn on both of them. They're both rushing yards. I'm going Aaron Jones for the Green Bay San Francisco game over 60.5 or 67.5 point rushing yards. God, I can't talk. But if the Packers want to have a chance in hell at beating the Niners, they're going to have to be able to run the football. So they're going to run the football a lot. Because if you think about it, you got to keep the Niners offense off the field, right? And how are you going to do that? You're going to do it by running the clock out. So Aaron Jones, I think, is going to have the game of his life if they're going to have any chance to win this game. So give me Aaron Jones over 67.5, and give me Devin Singletary over 60.5 rushing yards against the Ravens.
I'll help you.
Also, don't be afraid to throw in Aaron Jones anytime touchdown, too. Aaron Jones loves to score touchdowns.
No. Isaiah Likely, anytime touchdown.
He's
been hot.
I like that too.
Hot.
I like that. Hey, you could make a little, same game parlay with us.
No, what was the other one you said? Singletary over 6.
Singletary. Yep, Singletary over 60.5.
Cancel that and make that a SG.
Like a little Ravens parlay there. Likely.
Likely's been hot too, man. I mean, you think about it, he scored in what? The last 4 games?
I think so.
And Andrews, they were thinking he was going to be able to play.
I don't think
He's
he is.
out.
Yes,
I know
he's
they
out.
ruled him out today. But say the Ravens win this game, I think he's going to be back next week. Yeah.
Offense gets even scarier.
So
Do you think if Mark Andrews comes back next week that they're going to use both and have that dual tight end threat?
I think it's definitely a possibility. We got to see it's how many weeks has it been since it was like a Thursday night game that Andrews got hurt, right? It was against the Bengals.
Let's see here.
Yep. Let's see.
It's been. I feel like it's been at least 8 or 9 weeks
Yeah, it's been a
at the
while.
very least.
So we don't know how truly like because rehab wise, it's a lot different than like games.
I feel like you have to slowly bring him back in, right? Like give him maybe 50% of the snaps. Because I mean, Isaiah Likely's been that guy for you at the tight end position while he's been gone.
Look up when they played the Bengals on
Definitely
Thursday
Bengals.
night. I remember that.
It was November 16th, so you're looking about 2 months ago, a little over 2 months.
So to go with my pick, I'm picking Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score.
Oh.
I feel like he hasn't had a touchdown in a while. I feel like he finally kind of breaks out of that slump, gets something going.
The Taylor curse.
I think he gets something going and he
I
scores.
think he needs a dropper. I know
So-
they're probably going to get engaged, but I think he needs a dropper.
To go with this parlay that we cooked up, you got Packers 49ers, same game parlay, over 50.5. Then Aaron Jones over 67.5 rushing yards. Then we got Texans Ravens, same game parlay, over 43.5. And Devin Singletary over 60.5 rushing yards. And then Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score, that comes out to be plus 2,096. So let's say
Let's throw 10 on there. Let's
throw
see.
$10, you win $220. So not bad for this weekend.
Not bad.
So throw 20, win $440. Not bad.
Shoot, throw.
Big talk. Let's go.
Throw 50 on there. I want to
Throw 50, you win 1,100. So
take that, man.
We lock in. I'm not going to lie, the stuff that I see you put out there, I usually fade your stuff. And I can positively tell you right now, I don't think Travis Kelce is going to get in the end zone. But if you're right, that would be pretty awesome.
I think you're pretty on there.
I think there's going to be another tight end in the in the end zone. It's not going to be in that game. It's going to be Isaiah Likely still. I'm hammering that Isaiah Likely.
I could see that. I really could.
Even Kincaid or Knox, both of them scored
Yeah.
last week.
I do like it.
Tight end, even Dalton Schultz. I mean, we can go on and on with guys. Luke Musgrave, George Kittle.
This sounds like a big tight end week, really. There could be 3-4 tight end touchdowns.
I mean, sleeping on that bad man down in Detroit too, man.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta. Don't be sleeping on Sam Laporta too now.
Hey, Cade Otton.
Kate Otten also.
Man doesn't wear gloves either. I like him. He's a big 88.
But the weather though, you know.
alrighty. So thanks for guys for joining and watching the first episode of the Locker Room Debates podcast. Thanks for joining me, boys.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us. Much love, bro.
Appreciate
See
it.
you guys soon.